As revealed exclusively on 7 News last night, Campbell Newman is proposing a bold scheme to rebuild much of the government end of Brisbane City. He says the 5-year plan needn't cost taxpayers a cent because publicly owned buildings can be sold off to developers. The Premier contends he couldn't put the idea to voters at the state election because he only recently thought of it.
As he announced the first big idea of his premiership, Campbell Newman had to block suggestions that can-do work was already underway.
Look under there, see, well, they're not started. Actually, they haven't started. No, that's not for this.
The grand plan is to renovate one end of the CBD. The Premier says he didn't take it to the election because he only thought of it a week later as he showed off his new ministry.
I took him to the window and I pointed to 1 William Street and said, I've got an idea about how we can sort out all these problems with the government offices and things like that. 1
William Street is a car park, but within 3 years, Mr Newman wants this to be the new seat of executive government in Queensland, modelled on one built for Brisbane City Council while he was Lord Mayor.
It is modern, it is light, you don't have any problems with sick buildings.
Once the building is constructed, public servants will transfer out of other buildings on George Street, which can then be sold off, renovated and leased back with more cafes and restaurants.
Totally neglected riverbank. An area of the CBD that is deserted after 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's just the start of the big ideas. Other possibilities include demolishing the current executive building to open up the top of Mary Street and making Alice Street an underpass to create a plaza out the front of Parliament. As to whether any of Mr Newman's property developer donors will win valuable contracts,
well, anybody in the private sector who wishes to lodge expressions of interest will be able to do that.
A new executive building means new executive offices for Mr Newman and his ministers. The Premier says this isn't about them, but public servants and construction workers.
We need to see projects that actually provide jobs.
The closest things there are to plans for the new development are these, sent out by the Premier's advisers this morning and brought to his media conference.
I haven't seen them.
That's because
these were plans that were generated by the Labor government, but we did not see this as a priority.
The National Trust slammed Labor's controversial North Bank scheme. This plan has tentative support.
If that building there went, I wouldn't be disappointed, you know.
So would this project keep the North Bank name?
Look, I think that North Bank is going to be an exciting plan.
Well, it's got nothing to do with North Bank. North Bank was an abomination.
The Premier says over 5 years his plan could save 14 football fields worth of government office space. Jeff Bruce, 7 News.